But again, the ticking time bomb, the grenade, whatever other armament you want to suggest that he's going to be throwing into this is Harry is with this book.
What did you think when you saw the fab for, William and Kate and Meghan and Harry back together? And do you think it kind of opened the door for, the future?
Well, I don't think, I think it's interesting how every little movement is dissected. Harry, people were criticizing William for not opening the door for Kate, where Harry, of course, very gallant man that he is, went over and did that for his wife. Well, of course, William saw that someone else was coming to open the door for his wife, and they've done this a million times. So everything that they do, every tiny little gesture is going to be dissected, and that adds to the pressure. I still think, I don't think Charles, sure, Charles would like everybody to be there and doing their job, and it's in his interest to get Harry back into the fold. I'm not so sure William is that interested. I think he's got much more of a grudge against Harry at this time. And again, it's just going to get worse, I think, as time goes on. So we'll see how they handle it.
Yeah, well, we did get some reporting that William was the one that reached out and made this come together. Do you have any insight on what went down, what was spoken, what they said to each other?
I don't know what they said to each other specifically, but I do know that he did the reaching out. But let's not forget, this is to pay their respects to their grandmother. They were so close to Elizabeth. They admired her as anyone else would their grandmother, but she was also their queen. And William in particular was the recipient of all sorts of attention from the queen. I mean, she knew he was the future of the monarchy. He and Kate and the Cambridge children, they're all the future of the monarchy. This is a transitional king we're seeing, I think, although he may live a long time too. But I just think that Harry and Meghan still are uneasy. We've seen that in the recent interview that Meghan gave. So it'll take an awful lot, I think, for them to mend those fences, to get things back to where they were. And it's all sad because, once again, I look at everything through the Diana prism, and she did not ever, she always said, Charles will never be king. He didn't think that would happen. Obviously, she was wrong. I know she would never have envisioned Camilla as queen. But we'll see. We'll see, how the public accepts them. Right now, everyone is very warm and fuzzy toward the family because, let's face it, we all love the queen, and I think that's going to change and quickly, frankly.
With all that in mind, they're coming together to honor their grandmother. What do you think the future looks like?
Well, the immediate future is going to be filled with ceremony and, again, Charles trying to heal the nation and get his subjects behind him in a major way. In many ways, he's like a political candidate. I mean, the Queen was, there for 70 years, and now he has to convince everyone that he is her, if not her equal, at least he's worthy for the job he's undertaking. I mean, imagine waiting 73 years to take on the job you were born to do. People forget, by the way, that as far back as 1998, Charles let his office, let it be known that he wouldn't be upset if his mother abdicated. Well, she was 72 at the time, so he was ready for the job that far back. And this is a real waiting game for him. I mean, if it's weighty Katie, then it's weighty Charles.
Obviously we're a few months away from the coronation, but, come that time, who do you think is going to be standing on the balcony with King Charles? Do you think Harry and Meghan will be up there?
If Charles can make it happen, I think they will. But again, the ticking, time bomb, the grenade, whatever other, armament you want to suggest that he's going to be throwing into this Harry is with this book is the thing that has everybody upset in Buckingham Palace. So we'll just have to wait and see. And by the way, there are all sorts of changes that now people are talking about. The king might give Buckingham Palace to the people as a museum, that sort of thing. I think people are being a little bit frantic in their analysis of what's going to happen. He's not yes, he's going to streamline the monarchy. He's going to definitely get some royals off the payroll. He already has, in essence. And in the end, I think the people he wants standing on that balcony are himself, his queen, and his children and grandchildren, and that's it.
And then finally, what did you think of Prince Harry not being allowed to wear his military uniform?
I think that was to be expected. I think it was something that, because he was stripped of all of his honorary military titles, it's a very sensitive thing. That was what the Queen wanted, and I think Charles wanted to make sure that those wishes were fulfilled. By the way, there's an interesting thing I'm looking for, and that is whether or not there will be a vigil of the princes during the funeral, because you may recall during the Queen Mother's funeral, there's a very touching moment during the funeral at Westminster when Queen Mother was lying in state, where the various sons and grandsons who served in the military, and even ones that hadn't, Edward, for example, all stood at the four corners of her coffin and in honor of the Queen Mother. I would imagine something like that would happen again. I can't see why they wouldn't do it.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.